Okay, got it. Hey, we're live. That was quick.
Exactly. I mean, it's been picking up and speedy. We got through the upgrade, y'all. And
Hmm.
notice I can now put him over where he belongs. The other.
Hey, I know. Everyone who's confused right now, he moved over there. That's gonna suck.
No, it'll make video.
I'm used to doing that and pointing to you. Like
Yeah,
now
they
I have to.
actually towards me. Uh
Yeah, except I'm doing it in reverse. Well, actually, I am. I know you got a point. I
huh.
really am pointing towards you right now. Hi,
Yeah.
Kathy.
Hi, Kathy.
Sorry, we've confused ourselves. That's what we've done. He swapped us around.
Well, I moved us around so that you could be more in the lead spot, and you're on the side you normally are on me when we sit down at a table.
Well, this is true, but still,
Yeah.
it's a little new. It's a little different.
Well, new and different's what we need. New and different's what we've been calling for.
Yes, I think we finally got the stream back to normal. So sorry for the last Psychic Coffee Shop. We were coming out of weekend events, and yeah, I think we forgot a few things.
Yep.
Hey, we've got a Beverly Walker. Awesome.
How are you, darling?
But yeah, so
Yeah.
but yeah. Oh, Kathy says, "LOL couples." I know, right?
Oh, but things are it's been a good week for most of us.
Yeah.
We do want to send thoughts and prayers out to those impacted with the hurricane. Mountain State, you are going to be getting it now, and then we'll be getting the rain and the leftovers as she continues making her way up the valley into the Ohio's.
Now, was that tots and pairs or thoughts and prayers?
Both.
Okay.
Potato tots, they go great over a campfire.
I'm sorry. I friggin' love that image of tots and pairs.
Uh-huh.
Like, I love it. I love it. I love it. Like, actually, I can think of a lot of times in my life people sent me thoughts and prayers that it's like, nah, I would have much rather the tots and pairs.
Yeah. Potato tots and prayers are perfect.
I mean, especially if they're loaded tots.
Well, true. Or, the ones that have the filling in them. You love those too.
Yay! All right, Kathy found the notification bell. Awesome.
Hi, Susan.
Hey, Susan. Sorry, sometimes I do that. I read the comment and not like respond.
I'm glad you found the notifications on Facebook. Glad you found the notifications on YouTube. It's been a good week. It's been a busy week. We're getting together the first issue out of the magazine.
Well, the newsletter. It's sort of magazine format.
Yeah, we're using magazine format.
Like, I actually had to mute my computer before the show started, and I already have the wallpaper set as my background, and I realized that when I went to mute it, so I had to pull up File Manager. That's been the right way. Yep. Just to hide it, because I'm not giving it away or nope.
It's already up.
What?
Yeah, that comes out on the 25th of each month, dear. Read my content calendar.
Oh my God. Hi, Brenda.
Hi, Brenda.
Yes. But no, okay, well, that was a lot of wasted effort.
No, that wasn't a lot of wasted effort. It's a Patreon thing.
No, I mean, it was a lot of clicks to...
Yeah, for a Patreon thing.
Yeah, that I was hiding. Well, okay, got you. It is a Patreon thing. But
right.
It's pretty cool.
Yeah, but...
It's pretty cool.
Hi, Terry.
Yay.
We're going to have a full house tonight.
We are.
Yeah.
We're loading in quick. People are getting notifications now. It's awesome.
I know.
I really think hosting Central West Virginia Pagan Pride helped a lot.
Well, I think hosting Central West Virginia Pagan Pride was probably the funnest thing I've done in a while.
Mm-hmm.
I not, and I do mean not, MC'd for probably 20 years. That was cool. I can still MC.
Mm-hmm. Of course, I think the best part of that is you woke up like 3 hours early for like hair, makeup, and like all that.
Uh-huh.
And I rolled out of bed 30 minutes before the event.
Well, honey, that's why I'm a prince, and you're a husband.
There you go.
It's kind of like today you got to deal with my world a little bit. I made him call the Stone Age courthouse because I had already talked to this person 10 times.
Oh, bless your heart. No, he got to deal with Mercer County recently because we realized there was a snafu in my move to Oak Hill in Fayette County. Small snafu. When you move, you always forget that one thing. Well, the one thing I forgot was to go change the registration county for my car.
But no. You see, this is the fun thing with the cars. It's They're 2 years behind.
Well, that's most of the state.
Yeah.
It's crazy.
2 years behind. So technically, no, you didn't mess up. There's nothing we could have done to get you moved to Fayette County. Because I talked this over with the Fayette County assessor, and I said, look, here's the deal. No. We didn't mess up. We still owe Mercer County for the 2 years you were there. We paid last year. We got this year. And then we finally come to Fayette County, and I can deal with it.
Yay. But no, so we had to call the courthouse to make a payment. And you have not dealt with Mercer County Courthouse ever.
Ever.
Yeah. So he had no idea. And he's used to Fayette County, which I've never dealt with. So I don't know what I'm missing. Now, I do know from my Greensboro experience that even in like the early 2000s, like credit card payments, online website, like all this stuff was available. Mercer County has just not gotten there.
Well,
like they're just not there. Like, bless their hearts, they're sweet, kind, wonderful people. Honest to God, they really are. They will bend over backwards to help you. But technology is not their forte.
Well, with Fayette County, all I need is a taxpayer's name. I can pull the record up. I can pay the account. It will print me a lovely receipt to that person, and they don't care anything else other than they get their money, you get your receipt, have a great day, and oh yeah, you pay your little 4% convenience fee. Wahoo!
Right. Yeah.
Because otherwise, we'd be paying 4% convenience. We do that anyhow.
Yeah. Mercer County has not gone that easily.
If I need to call there, I have to go through the dial system, which you dial the number, you press 22242, and you get a tax officer.
There you go. Yeah, no. Mercer County, each department still has its own separate number. God knows, don't ask them to transfer you. That's just don't even. And their hold system is literally they pick up the phone, they answer it, and then say, honey, I got a line out the door. Let me put you on hold. And lay the phone on the desk so you get to hear everyone else in that line pay their taxes. That's how that works. That's what I did. I sat there and listened to her take other people's payments. It was, oh my gosh.
Well, what I found funny, keep going.
Oh, yeah. So finally we get in line, or, the line dies down enough. She can get to me. And so she gets everything pulled up, and she's immediately like, now, you understand you could mail this in. You still have plenty of time to mail it in. Yes, ma'am, I'm very well aware. Thank you. But no, I need to get these paid today. Oh, okay. Well, we charge, a convenience fee. And now if you mail it in or you come in, you don't have to pay that. Yes, ma'am, I understand. Yes, ma'am. Okay. So finally get her to the point that we are making this payment. She has the credit card number, and she asked, what, is Joseph the name on the card? And I said, no, because I'm using his card. And she goes, are you authorized to use this card? And what I said was, yes, I am. What I thought was, honey, if I don't make this payment today so that we can go renew the tags and get the inspection sticker, we may be testing out that West Virginia law about being able to beat your spouse or significant other on the courthouse steps on Sundays. Real quick. Like, just take the payment. I'm trying to give you money. Like, every tax office in the state of West Virginia is bitching about their collections rate on taxes. You're turning around, turning your back on money. Just take the payment.
And give me my receipt.
Yes. Oh, that has to be mailed. Yeah. I didn't even ask. I did not even ask. I did not even ask. I know better. I know better. I made the mistake once before of asking if they had the ability to email. Did that probably a year or two ago. And they're like, no, we're not directly connected to the internet like that. Now, the system is connected throughout the state. But we don't have internet. Oh, God. Okay, never mind. Got it. Which I should have known because their credit card system is still on dial-up. Oh, yes. Oh, yes. That's why that call takes so long. And it's the same thing when you're in line. They have to wait for that machine to dial out, transfer the data, and then come back and give you an approval or denial on that payment. Oh, yes. Oh, yes. Oh, you couldn't have gotten mad at her. She was so sweet. She is like someone's cookie bacon, apple pie grandma. And all of them are. Everyone that works there is like that. They are the sweetest, kindest, most wonderful people. But, they are stuck in the 90s as far as, like, technology and the way that office works. Like, every office in that building is exactly like it.
Yeah, there needs to be some major investments in that infrastructure. Definitely.
Oh, yeah. Like, the best we got was some of the vital statistics office went online. But what cracks me up is the people who work in that department don't actually know what all is available online. Like, they have no idea. They have no idea. But now they can go find that book on that shelf real quick. They can. And they will.
I am just amazed. Okay, just amazed.
It's great. I love going over there. Everyone is so friggin' nice. It's like walking into the Mayberry Courthouse.
Well, I can understand that, but dag, it's more. I know, but it's 1910.
But this is compared to like Greensboro, North Carolina, where the one time I don't know, I totally screwed up. Did not even know I owed Guilford County money. It was a long, convoluted story. We're not even going there. Short version, I had to go to the Guilford County Courthouse so I could renew my tags and make a payment to them. Those are not nice people. The Guilford County Courthouse, oh no, you don't want to go there. Like, that is like old school television New York DMV people.
Yeah.
Like, next.
Uh-huh.
Next. That's it. That's all they've got personality-wise.
Well, look at the size of the courthouse that they're
Oh,
doing
yeah,
it.
huge.
But
And
yet,
then
which is
they
only
lecture you.
away.
But they lecture you on, you could pay that online, right? Like, that's where they're geared towards. And it's like, that if everyone paid their stuff online, that would end your job, right?
No, it wouldn't, because they'd still have to process it and do the internal shit, because we're still keeping stuff by memory foam.
I don't know. I see my biggest fear, though, with what Kathy said was now that I need to get up on the technical stuff, Joe go help them and get them up to date. I don't know. See, I worry about that because, I like the little Mayberry Courthouse concept.
Oh, honey, we're putting in a business proposal, and I'll write the sucker.
Do what now?
I said, we'll put in a business proposal, and I'll write the sucker.
Oh, I don't know. I'm used to it. Like everyone in Mercer County is used to it. No. You just do it. You just deal with it.
Just do it. It's crazy. Especially during this pandemic, to be going into a courthouse that has been closed 3 times for being infected.
All right. A lot of that has to do with every time they open, I'm sure there's a mad rush.
Yeah.
Because you can't do anything online. Hello, Alexandria.
Yeah.
But no,
you can't. Up the state, since we're talking about backwoods.
Mm-hmm.
Let's move on up to Fairmont.
Oh, yes.
Thank you, Brenda, for bringing this issue to our attention.
Yeah. We hate that it exists, but thank you for bringing it to our attention. This is Fairmont's gone. Like, what the heck?
Yeah.
Like, what the heck? Like, I know he had COVID. Did that come with brain damage?
I don't know. I really don't.
What the hell?
And what's even worse is I watched the trial. That's one of the things I watched on lovely YouTube Live. Thank you for the citizen that is recording it.
Oh, yeah.
It, not the county or even the city.
Right.
But I'm like, my God, how many and there was a speaker during Bledsoe's hearing who didn't even show up for it.
Yeah, sorry. This is Barry Bledsoe, which is a councilman. Yeah. Well, he's a councilman in Fairmont. And he's already come under fire at least once for comments he's made, as has another delegate on that city council for comments they have made.
Kennedy.
Yeah. Good God. Like, it doesn't stop.
No.
It hasn't stopped. Last time I think he made a half-hearted apology. This time all he did was take down the comment and walk away. And just go, man, it's not what it was about. And everyone's supposed to be like, oh, okay, well, obviously.
Mm-hmm.
And it's like, no, you just called a delegate from Monongalia County satanic. That was his comment.
Mm-hmm.
And, on Facebook, because she was in support of the Morgantown Crosswalk.
Mm-hmm. Not only in support of the Morgantown Crosswalk, in support of the Drag Queen reading time. She has been very much moving Monongalia County forward.
Wait, Brenda, I'm totally confused. I thought he had COVID earlier on. Like he got it again? Or did I get totally lost in multiple articles about, stupid people who think COVID is a joke and then get COVID? Because they didn't do the things to prevent getting COVID.
Mm-hmm.
Imagine, if you will, a world in which, okay, so this is his second bout? supposedly at least, his second bout. Oh my gosh.
Yeah.
So now it's just an expedient.
I don't have to bring him up on. I'll bring him up on the screen.
Yeah. Okay. But yeah, no. Oh, okay. So he's still like trying to play off the first one. Okay, got it. Well, I'm sorry, and that it's not that it's a bad choice. Like I'm totally there with him if it were a legitimate choice, but I don't think that's what it is.
Right, but
like it's just an expedient excuse. Okay, sorry. He couldn't come to trial because he had COVID and is in oxygen and is compromised, but has been seen out in public with no mask. He was in the hospital, but that's why he says he can't show up. No, this is not a second bout. This is still the first one. And apparently even up there, they're calling it, he's using it as an excuse.
Right. Now, also the city manager didn't show up for it either, and she was supposedly out on sick leave.
Mm-hmm.
But there were some very interesting viewpoints for Fairmont in this meeting. Some variant things. What was brought to my attention is the people he represents has asked how many signatures, and for the city attorney to provide them with a proper petition to the city.
Mm-hmm.
And the city attorney has refused to do so. So that one needs fired, because that's his position and his job to do so, to be an advisory to all city members on city business.
Yes. Meanwhile, sorry if I smirked in the middle of that. I was reading the comments, and apparently we really are confusing people. They're like, wait, you're backwards.
Yes, this is a new feature that allows me to switch us.
There we go. See, I can work with that. Oh my God.
Yeah. So, point blank, I don't know who. There's a gentleman that lives in his district and owns a store. He is trying to get a petition up and moving to get both Kennedy and Bledsoe off the city council before they ruin Fairmont and Fairmont City. I hope those that are listening are in there.
See, now they're calling it more normal.
Yeah.
Told you. We had this whole conversation.
Okay.
Told you so. Told you so. I told you so.
Okay.
I even did the dance, guys. So but yes.
But yes. This, however, is where the people need to start taking interest in. We get pissed off and aggravated about national level. We need to start taking down the state level, because that's where you knock these little peons out of the gate.
Well, typically, yes. But also, it's where it can often have the most impact, granted, not for the largest number of people, but can have the largest impact, is one community at a time.
Right.
Yes, everyone is now feeling better, honey.
Okay.
I'm just saying, I told you so. But yeah.
Yeah. But no, and this is where you guys got to get involved in. Mm-hmm. Where we have hit our most problems at is with city government, with state government, with county commissions, with boards of education.
Yes. And when you think about it, it does make the most sense. Who's more intertwined with your daily life? And that's your local government.
Mm-hmm.
Granted, federal government can do a lot of large, wide sweeping things that can have massive impact. But your local, city, county, whatever government, depending upon where you live, it becomes different things. But those small local municipalities can have the largest impact on your daily life. It can determine what businesses are allowed or not. which is a big thing that happens to you. In terms of where can Aeson read. And that has to do with the fact that we have laws at a community level that can drastically change whether or not you can even own or possess a tarot deck, let alone give a free reading or run a business, and how that business must be run.
Right. And, Brenda's bringing up, they've mentioned picketing his business, his church, the home. If his church is his, like he is the reigning pastor, most definitely I'd go for that one. If his church is not his, if it is ran by somebody else, then by golly, you need to be talking to that pastor, because that pastor ain't doing his job.
And Jessica's run into the situation you've been in. But that's not where it stops. It's one thing when you can kind of look at a tarot reader and go, oh, well, that's just, the good Christians being afraid of things that are different. And yeah, okay, you can start to excuse that one a little. But then you look at all the other businesses that are affected, all the taxes that are involved, all of the different licensing charges based upon what you're doing as a business, comparative to whether or not you're keeping things out.
Right.
And all the little struggles that can happen. And you start looking at a community and understanding, like, that's why no businesses are located there.
Well, look at Vienna.
Like, you got the people, you've got the roads, you're accessible, you have internet. Where's all the business?
Right.
And you start looking at municipal codes. And it's like, who could afford it?
Well, no, but let's look at Vienna. Vienna, West Virginia, just on the outside of Parkersburg. Literally, you blink and you cannot even see it. They have a law that you can't read tarot there. They have a law that says no fortune telling allowed, that was passed in 1922 and left on the books. However, they have other laws, like women can't drive, and you can beat your spouse on the courthouse steps and all that, still left from that era. But they only enforce the tarot law. They'll only enforce the tattoo parlor laws. They'll only charge them 3 times the fee if they allow them in. St. Albans, West Virginia, where we have our office at, charges me $200 if I would do in a standalone office there, where normal businesses pay $30.
Well, there's a lot of these things that are in some ways shaping communities, but sometimes are just really outdated.
Right.
They're unfortunate bits of law that challenge and harm a community.
Yeah.
And yeah, so always pay attention to your local communities and what they're doing.
Yeah.
And especially if you're looking around going, what the heck?
Why isn't there a business there?
Right. Like, why can't we attract big businesses? Start looking into it. You will start finding little bits of old laws that are oftentimes very impactful, specifically around finances. Like, what do I have to pay to whom, when, where, and how? How easy it is to do business with your local government, i.e. Mercer County probably takes a hit, just like you're thinking, for the fact that it is, like, they're not online. This is not an online business. It doesn't work online. So if you're a local business owner and you have to deal with that courthouse a lot, then yeah, it's going to start to get a little hairy.
Well, not only that, but if you got to pay like B&O taxes, which go to the county or the city, depending on where you're at, if you're in the county or if you're in the city, that's a problem. Especially for Mercer County, that's a major problem. That means you're going to that courthouse a minimum of once a quarter to pay.
Or at least writing a check and having to mail it in versus being able to go online and deduct it and just run a transaction.
Right, and you have to do it because it's in your name. That was my big thing. Was why can't I do it? My accountant can't pay my B&O taxes. That's what I pay him for.
Yeah. Hey, it's fun.
Mm-hmm.
Welcome to West Virginia.
Now, I do want to give a shout out to Mrs. Walker, the one he insulted. I don't think I've seen a better speaker. And believe me, I've seen a lot of speakers in probably 20 years than what she did at his trial. She was the last speaker there. They had to split her into a whole separate video. But by golly, she held her own. She's a great orator. And that is a lost art in this country.
Mm-hmm. Absolutely.
And she didn't even go in there to defend, well, to accuse. She went in there and actually was trying to bring everybody together.
Mm-hmm.
And she is a good delegate. Like, I'd like to see her do more than just be a delegate.
And hopefully one day that will happen in the state of West Virginia. But what was the other fact about Delegate Walker?
Let's see. She has been literally had her home vandalized, and she invited the people over to have a talk and dinner.
Mm-hmm.
She tried to get. She supported drag queen being a drag queen reading to children, since apparently straights don't have time to sit down and read.
Yeah. Drag Queen Story Hour, she was a big supporter of, which Bledsoe was saying that that was where his real comment came in towards her being a Satanist, was that she supported that because he felt it was exposing children to an X-rated event.
Someone dressed like Cinderella reading Cinderella is an X-rated event.
Mm-hmm.
Does this man even know what X-rated is?
I don't know. I think he saw that horrible image online of the drag queen, like, children flash, that horrible composite image that went around at the same time that everyone started attacking Drag Queen Story Hour.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So you don't understand that, it's an actor dressed up as a character reading a story.
Yeah. So, but moving on just a little.
But we'd rather turn their children to clowns.
Yeah. But what else do we know about her?
Let's see. She doesn't support where you kill a living baby.
No, it was something you said kind of offhand before the show, and I want to draw attention to that.
You're going to have to rephrase me.
She's the only what delegate?
She's the only African-American female delegate in the state of West Virginia.
And what number of delegates in West Virginia are African-American?
I'm not for sure, darling.
Or even, let's go with our people of color. Just because if you haven't noticed, the West Virginia leadership is pretty much an old white man's club.
Mm-hmm.
Was the point I'm making.
Right.
Like, that's in and of itself kind of where our problems start.
Mm-hmm.
Because a lot of it is built by old white men to support old white men.
Right.
And kind of a giant middle finger to anyone who isn't an old white man with tons of money. Like, copy and paste tons of money through all of that.
Mm-hmm.
Oh,
keep up with my delegates.
And while you find that, I'm reading Alexandria's comment.
Okay.
I've met some queens, and they know how to live life. I was taking my kids to drag shows in Provincetown, and it was one of the best times.
Yeah.
Awesome. Like, and that's an actual drag show. Just point that out. That is an actual drag show versus a kids event story hour. Like, just go ahead and draw from that if you can. But yeah.
I'm looking at the roster.
Mm-hmm.
Now, granted, my numbers may be off,
Okay.
but I'm counting 3 African Americans.
Okay. And how many other minorities are represented in West Virginia? This is my point. And then how many women?
Well, hold still a second.
Yeah.
Now, granted, I'm going to just have to go off their pictures. So there may be some cross nationalities.
Mm-hmm. Meanwhile, I'm flipping back to Alexandria's comment of "and no nudity." Hi, can I point this out? Like, watch a drag queen get dressed, you would understand how hard it would be to flash someone. There are so many layers. Like, it takes hours to get into, and it does not just like the only way to get out of it quickly is to be cut out. Like, there is padding and foam and do what now?
Sometimes you have to be cut out.
Well, sometimes you have to.
I'm going to say 16, 18 women out of the 55.
Uh-huh.
Uh-huh.
Yes.
Yeah. All right. So, very small majorities, a lot of white Anglo-Saxon looking men. Now, it's not saying that they're not, other nationalities. Right. And here's, please, the heels were the most damn comfortable as part of the outfit.
And there he goes. Oh, he still misses his heels.
I still wear heels.
Well, true.
My back's hurting, you're going to see, or I'm doing an event, you're going to see me in 2.5-inch heels, aka cowboy boots. Do I wish I could go higher? Yes, but there's a problem. I got fat feet currently. They don't make heels the length I want them at. And my cobbler apparently retired.
No! Seriously?
Seriously, the cobbler that was in Huntington that could redo my heels and would put the titanium pins in them and raise them 2.5 to 5 inches higher, he retired.
Oh, yes. Oh, sorry, I was scared there. I thought you were talking about the one that we have heard of but haven't been to yet.
No.
It's in St. Albans. And I was like, are you kidding me?
No, I'm talking about the one in Huntington that used to do my custom heels.
Okay, because I was having a moment where have we been in Shauna's hour of need?
Where have we been in my hour of need for shoes?
I know, but she has too many shoes for that to occur.
I know.
Like, I figure she is like half his income just to start with.
Uh-huh.
Ah, the Kinky Boots Factory. Oh, dear. Oh, but yes.
Please, I'm sorry. Thigh-high boots at 5.5-inch heel, stiletto with a double padded sole. Ladies, you will fall in love after you get over the fear of falling. You can reach everything you need to. They don't hurt your calves. You feel totally supported, and they normally go with everything.
Well, yeah, but then again, I do know someone knew of someone, I think she has since passed, spent many years in very high heels. Like, the woman loved her high heels. And she apparently got stuck with Barbie feet. Like, they were permanently, they didn't go flat.
Right.
Like, she was permanently at that. Like, how often does that actually happen, though? Is that a thing that people should be worried about?
It does happen, because that's the reason we went to cowboy boots.
Yeah.
And what it is the Achilles tendon shortens.
Mm-hmm.
And that's the reason I'm in boots most of the time, is the Achilles tendon will shorten. So yes, you do have to do your exercises. Yes, you have to get that tendon stretched out. But please, it's much more comfortable.
Oh, I know better, Beverly Walker. 5-inch heels, you would pretty much be looking down at me. I think. Pretty sure. Pretty close to it. At least we'd be at eye level.
Yeah. But Brenda and Beverly, no, honey. What we do is we do something very simple. We have them put an extra thick sole on the base of the shoe of about an inch. We put you in 6-inch stiletto heels, give you about a week of padding to get used to them, and then you guys can reach anything you want. I mean, if you both of you are going to have to beat Shauna. She wears, I would say, a nice stiletto. She's within that height range. That those stilettos, she can do anything she wants. I've seen her push tables and shelves around and climb ladders, and I'm like,
Not to mention, if you do the steel shank, it's a great weapon.
You have titanium shank, it's titanium inserts, and yes, they are a wonderful weapon.
There you go. So you would be 5'10", so we'd be virtually eye level.
Actually, she'd be 6'1".
What?
Yeah, because we're adding already an inch.
Oh, right. You're adding all of the padding. So, yeah, dead on 6.
Yeah, because I used to be 7'2".
Oh, God. I'm sorry. I just tried to imagine that. And that's like, immediately my head went back because I had a science teacher who was 7'4".
Uh-huh.
And that was everyone's first thing they did when he walked into the room for the first day of class was go, "Oh, God, how tall are you?" I will say some of my neck issues may be from that class. I sat too far in the front. He was a teacher you really had to sit in the back for, but everyone else figured that out before I did. Like the first 2 rows, no one would even try. Because then you're just, hi. Like it was bad when he came to stand over you and help, and it's like, dude, I'm going to need you to back up. Because I can't do this for much longer.
But anyhow. Yeah.
But no, Mr. Belcher, awesome science teacher. He was so trippy.
See, we can get Brenda and Beverly both up to where, they can be comfortable. Hey, Moot's here.
Mott is here.
Mott.
I'm not calling her Moot. Moot? We're calling her Moot?
I keep calling her Moot.
Now?
One of my favorite artisans.
Sorry, that's the only way I could get there was just to, go Highland on it. Oh.
See, it's practice.
Deer on ice. Okay, sorry. I wasn't prepared. Oh, okay, go ahead.
Anyhow, it's practice to walk in heels. That's all it is. Once you get used to it, you're done.
She is the mighty Moot.
We've done some lovely artwork that always gets blocked by my head.
Yes. Hi, Shannon. Yay.
Her artwork. I want this bigger.
Like mural size? Is that where you're at?
Well, I'm thinking it would look lovely and over top of the TV, matching the size of the TV.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. We'll get there.
Yes.
After we get the new couch, we'll talk about that. Oh, yes. But in other news, and there's been some sad news and some pissing me off news. Take it away in the middle of Wisconsin.
Oh yeah, Kenosha, Wisconsin, and Jacob Blake. His yet another unarmed black, potentially unarmed black man. There's some confusion around that. In Kenosha, Wisconsin, shot by police officers, sparking more public outrage and protests. They are at day 4 of protest, I do believe. Day 3.
5.
Yeah. Sorry, it's hard to keep up, guys.
Yeah.
It sometimes keeps feeling like it's just the same story over and over. Maybe that's because it virtually is. So yes, continue.
So,
You're ready to go.
from what I understand, this dude was at a girlfriend's house with kids in the car. She calls to complain and create an issue. The police show up. Now, we're not talking 1 or 2 officers. We're talking 6 or 7.
Mm-hmm.
He's trying to get, from what I see in the video, and I don't know everything else, he's trying to get in the car and leave. He done told officers, yes, there's a knife in the car. Let me go get it for you. This 7-year on the force officer grabs him by the t-shirt and shoots him in the back with his children in the minivan over a knife.
Yes.
What the Hades of idiocy?
Oh, ouch. Oh, sorry. I'm reading Emily's comment. My husband is sad because he was watching footage and saw his old house he used to live in, and his favorite diner he took dates to go up in flames. He said it was very surreal.
Right.
Yeah, that is very sad.
It's heavily sad.
I understand that pain. Like we kind of had this conversation a little while back, and it's nowhere near the same level. But like currently, several of the places I used to live are no longer standing.
Mm-hmm.
And granted, in both situations, that was probably the best for everyone. But it does it makes places, it loses your connection to them.
Mm-hmm.
When this great big kind of thing is no longer there.
Right.
Like when businesses close or go up in flames or go out of business, get replaced by other stuff. It adds a lot of sentiment and depth to the words "you can't go home again."
Right.
Like it's not there.
Move on to it. Mm-hmm. So we have this incident, which we see clearly what it is.
Mm-hmm.
Cop-involved murder, as far as anyone is concerned. Don't want to hear it. It is murder. It's a use of deadly force that wasn't needed. What the hell?
Yeah.
Got that. Go on a couple days, and we start seeing rednecks out with AK-47s. Before I hear the Second Amendment quote, I am a gun owner, I am for gun control, and I'm for getting that off the market. Either that or give me a license to drive a tank, one of the two. Go into that story, because this is ridiculous what we've seen in news coverage.
Well, I will add one comment very quickly. That to get you into a tank, we need a backup camera on the tank. I've seen you in a minivan. But yes, sorry, I did unfortunately miss part of what you said.
The shooting that occurred like 3 days later?
Yes. So that got billed at first as this effectively counter protester might have been part of a self-styled militia, perhaps protecting gas stations. Lovely gentleman with a great big giant gun, walking freely down the street, actually ended up shooting 3 people, killed 2. And literally the cops rolled right past him. Like, meh.
Rolled past him, didn't arrest him, didn't shoot him, didn't even acknowledge him. He's sitting there on camera, hands up, approaching police vehicles. They're rolling out to deal with the protest. We have an armed, occupying militia in Kenosha. We have police officers that are idiots, not doing their job. We have National Guard there now, and FBI, and there's another one.
Oh, good grief. At this point, I can't even keep up.
Anyhow, occupying Kenosha, but we
Mhm.
have armed militiamen with AK-47s standing on the side of the street, intimidating protesters, violating our constitutional rights. And, you know, if you want to go in order, the First Amendment is higher than the Second Amendment.
There you go. So Kathy says the one where George Floyd got murdered by Officer Chauvin was so incredibly heartbreaking.
It is. But
well, and the whole situation is what's heartbreaking. Like I think that's the missing component. And you're gonna have to pop me out for a second. I forgot to plug in.
Okay. So let me take him off here while I go off on the point. So this person is a 17-year-old with an AK-47. Problem one, he was committing a misdemeanor, even being on the thing. If my little nephew takes my pistol outside, he's committing a misdemeanor. Point blank misdemeanor, arrest him, take the gun. He was getting thanked by the policeman for being out there. It's on tape. They were thanking a murderer for being out there. You back?
Okay. Yes. Sorry. Knew I forgot to do something when I was doing setup. But no, it's the whole situation's heartbreaking. The whole concept is heartbreaking. And the far from lost on anyone is the irony of officers now being afraid to leave house in uniform, or off-duty officers afraid to go about their lives. And it's like, hi, this is the problem. Like, this is what the situation has been for a person of color. Like, where have you been? Like, do we need to go all the way back and start this conversation at any of you who would like to be treated like a person of color, please stand up. Wait, I don't think you heard me. None of you are standing, so that means you know what's wrong.
Right. But we also have, now the news media is touting aspiring policeman, aspiring cop, aspiring law enforcement. No, this bloody 17-year-old's a murderer on field. This bloody thing is a terrorist.
Yeah.
A domestic terrorist and needs immediate incarceration. But no, he even walked up and was giving himself up. Multiple times. We have it on, news coverage has it on multiple times. Rolling by, and paying no attention to this murderer who just shot 3 people, killing 2. He gets to go home, and now is having to be extradited back because he isn't even part of this city. He isn't even part of this state. He lives in another state.
Right. Well, and the bigger issue is, white men with big guns has been normalized to a point that, yes, officers roll right past. There is nothing suspicious here. Like, these are not the people you're looking to arrest.
Ridiculous.
Yeah. Like, I would think, shots fired situation. Maybe the guy walking down the middle of the street with the really hard to miss gun,
smoking,
might be involved. Might be someone you might want to interact with, at least for a moment, to try to figure out what's going on.
And the gun is smoking.
And if they stop for 5
and never fired a gun, it continues smoking until the barrel cools down.
Right. And more importantly, if they'd stopped for 5 seconds, would have caught that.
Yeah.
But no, white dude walking down the middle of the road with a really big ass gun, not suspicious.
Mm-hmm. We need real policemen. We don't need paid military that can't do their job.
Yeah.
Now, do I think the looting and the burning down buildings that don't have anything to do with anything, that is a direct cause, and this was shown in Seattle, to the response. If a city comes out and starts responding and addressing concerns and making good and taking the police officers off and hearing the demands of the protesters, you don't have a problem. Mm-hmm. You have a peaceful protest. You put up a fence and call in the military and have all this armored crap all around, you go into a war zone. That is human nature.
Basically, treat it like a war zone, you're going to get a riot.
Exactly. You're going to get more than a riot. You're going to keep getting riots. You're going to keep getting property destructions.
Mm-hmm. Well, and especially when you're looking at long-term systematic racism that goes all the way back to pre-kindergarten, or like pre-kindergarten.
Yeah.
Which is often how many of our school systems, especially inner city schools and schools in urban areas, generally speaking, are run, or they're many child detention centers.
Mm-hmm.
Like, we're not talking about your nice, pretty, suburban, pre-kindergarten that is all fun, light, and air, and everyone's just kind of, bouncing around because these are friggin' children. We're talking about school systems that, metal detectors as early as elementary, locker searches and drug sniffing dogs and entire setups that basically make the schools to prison pipeline.
Mm-hmm.
You're pre-training. You're not training kids to grow up and, become their best selves and, further their education and do great things. You're creating model prisoners.
Right. Well,
they
just built down the street. That atrocity. I have been to federal prisons and they have more character.
Yeah. Well, yeah, and we do.
Prisons, and they have less fencing and less razor wire.
Yeah. And that's sad. That's our literal next door neighbor, so to speak. It's at the end of our street. Is what looks, and I made the comment when I first time I ever came up this way, was there's a prison, and you found it funny at first until you got to looking at it a little more and went, oh my God, it looks like a friggin' prison. And it's like, no, that's the school. And I'm like, okay. And it's sad. It just looks sad. It looks like a juvenile detention center.
Yeah.
Like, it has this one sad little playground, and it's just, ew.
Mm-hmm.
It just, there's nothing inspiring. There's nothing artistic. There's nothing colorful. There is no clear indicators anywhere on the property that this is a school. Like, as you're zooming past on 19, there is nothing that differentiates it as not a prison. It looks like a prison.
Yeah.
So, yeah. It's
no windows or very limited windows that look on the other side of the school. No groundskeeping. There's no outdoor classroom activity areas. There's no patios. And they have at least 5 acres there that they could have done a lot more with that space and a lot better spending of our money.
Well, yeah, and then the defense of that, the defense of the window situation and the defense of the setup of this school is that, it's kind of in a great big open area that would be easy for an active shooter to take out mass casualties. Okay, what I just heard in that situation is you didn't plan your site development very well.
Right.
If that's how you approached it.
Right. But if we look at the ones that replaced at Rosedale, large windows, large trees, large playground area, large places to have students outside and inside.
Mm-hmm.
You saw Collins Middle. They developed a park behind the school out of what was left when they had high school there.
Yeah. And
It's a park.
A lot of our older schools are very beautiful buildings, and they're very architecturally stimulating.
Mm-hmm.
You know, they on one hand generally have like a feeling of an institution,
Mm-hmm.
not in a lock you up padded room kind of way, but in a formality, like they inspire respect.
Right.
Not to mention, they also are creative spaces.
Mm-hmm.
A lot of them are built around art and music and auditoriums, and they serve as public centers.
Mm-hmm.
That school locks down, or is supposed to, basically, at like 4 o'clock every day. Like, that's it. Close the gates.
Yeah, they haven't. They've yet to do that, and that was promised.
Mm-hmm.
I've caught that on film. I've caught that on video. I have caught that on our dash cam. I have took it on pictures. At 3 and 4 in the morning, the bus-only gate is wide open.
Yes. Absolutely. But no, like, again, it's a whole, like, getting back to the story, is that, no, it's a prison, it's a schools to prison pipeline. You're literally building people who are already conditioned to a prison environment, whether that's a workplace or a for-profit prison.
Mm-hmm. Now, what I don't get, and I'm really disappointed with the news media, is we have a domestic situation. It's technically criminal trespassing that becomes deadly. But we have a murder case, a murder situation where you're touting this person as possibly wanting to become a cop, of being very supportive of cops, and being part of a militia, but apparently never had arms training. Because when I was taught to shoot, I was taught you don't take your gun out unless you plan to shoot it, and you don't aim your gun at anything unless you're going to shoot.
You don't intend to kill.
Exactly. Now, we've been in a very long term, and yes, we have now moved into what is called the gravedigger side of the relationship. We've been in a relationship for over 3 years. How many times have you seen my gun?
I don't know, 0, but we're not quite at 3 years. Slow your roll.
Yeah, we will be.
Oh, we were at 2.
No, 2 for you being here. Yeah. Together, 3.
No, we're closing in on 2 years that I've been here.
Right.
And we started dating slightly, or like months before that. So we're on 2 years, honey.
Okay.
Trying to.
Well, again, we're moving into that gravedigger era.
I thought it was the 25 to life era. But anyway. Brenda's with me. I had to go, what?
Well, here's the math for gay relationships. You times it by 10 years for every year.
Oh.
But anyhow.
It's such a horrible joke.
Yeah. But no, you've never seen my gun. I keep my gun in a bag, in a purse, in its box.
Yeah. It doesn't, it's not a thing.
Yeah.
It's not just like casually laying on the table, like it's just there.
No.
No, it's
so
not
how
a
does a 17-year-old, and Terry, we'll get to your question in a minute. How does a 17-year-old get his hands on a AK-47 rifle that was designed for military use? The parents need charged in this also.
Well, there are some serious considerations there, yes. As to why does this child have, like, unfettered access
Mm-hmm.
and the ability to just disappear across state lines
Mm-hmm.
with a big ass gun,
Mm-hmm.
like, Jughead going to the diner. Like, what the heck? Sorry, going back to the old cartoon,
Mm-hmm.
or the old comic book. Sorry. But yes, and you have a question.
Yes.
Yay! I was wondering. I was about to mention after we got through the story if you had questions to pop them in.
Yeah.
So yeah, guys, questions. Come on. So ready for it?
Yeah.
All right. Terry 31357 asks, I asked my brother to ask Carissa for some money. Will she give it to me? She has been taking me to my eye appointments. Will she give me some of my sister's estate money?
Take a look here.
So two separate questions there, actually.
I feel like the estate finally pays off, but as I've said before, she is being lazy in this estate handlings, and she has violated state laws. The state of West Virginia, which is redundant of where the estate is currently, is under West Virginia laws of 6 months that estate has to be beginning settled. She hasn't even began filing paperwork, as we know, but you do get some money from it, and I do feel that she gives it to you.
Oh, and that was the response on Carissa?
Yes.
Okay. Just making sure that those all answered her questions. Oh, I'm so sorry, Kathy. Let me scroll up and we will get there. Okay, Kathy, I think I'm missing your question.
Kathy, re-put your question in.
Yeah, and she may have just done that. Yeah, guys, if we're not answering your question, it may be because we're not seeing your question. So if it's been like 20 minutes.
Right.
Okay. Yeah, I'm not seeing it. I'm so sorry. That one did not pop in. It occasionally happens. So if you can just copy and paste again, that would be amazing, Kathy. So Jessica, I had 61489. Will I get my government matters sorted out?
Yeah, but you need to do it piece by piece and be very detailed in the paperwork. Like, you need to be nitpicker city over it. Get your I's crossed and your T's in line. But yes, you'll get it taken care of.
Okay. All righty. And yeah, still waiting on Kathy's to pop back in. So all righty.
All righty. So, what else is on our plate?
Oh gosh. Oh, we do have the AARP story.
Yes, let's talk about that.
Yeah. Well, I was wanting to hit Kathy's question, or was hoping we could get that before we dig into that one.
Right.
Because I know the caseworker is not a big help.
No.
Oh. So that sounds like based on what you said, she needs to really push, to look through everything, make sure everything looks right to her, and just push that person to do their job.
Right.
Okay. Just making sure. All righty. Just making sure. All righty. Hey, why are you repeating me?
Because I went over to YouTube to see if I can get the question straight.
Okay, good deal. Ah. Okay. So I think Jessica has a second question there about calling the state on them.
No, Kathy, we did not get your question.
Yeah, no, Kathy, we didn't get it. Or for whatever reason, it's not coming through, more importantly.
Yeah. Well, I checked the straight feed from YouTube, and it's not up there either.
Not there either? Okay.
Yeah.
Weird. No, we didn't. Yeah.
Okay. So, yes, you need to push. You need to be on top of them. You need to, if their contract, if the workers' contract says that state law says they do XYZ and they don't do XYZ, pop it in there.
Okay.
Okay? Call
All
them
right.
ombudsman.
Oh, okay. So that was kind of Jessica's follow-on question.
Yeah.
I'm reading it as a follow-on question.
Right.
So she should call the state and as part of that push. Okay.
Yeah.
Awesome. Okay. Good deal. Oh God. Claiming it's an IRS issue. Okay. Oh yeah.
Yeah. Call the ombudsman.
Yeah.
Because what you're dealing with is, we've never dealt with that before. There's laws and regulations they have to follow, know them very well.
Well, and also being a social worker in the state of West Virginia is kind of a horrific job. It's not a job that attracts the best and the brightest all the time. It is also a job in which there's a lot of turnover. If you're good at your job in West Virginia as a caseworker, you are going to burn the hell out.
Mm-hmm. And we've seen that. One of my girls was a caseworker, and she's no longer a caseworker.
Yeah. And it's not a good conversation to have with her either, because she just has a lot of pain around that. So Kathy's question, and waiting on a date of birth there. There you go. Kathy, 72862, says, my attorney called today to say he has no expert surgeon to stay and sign the legal papers. So is my malpractice over, or will it still happen?
Let me take a look here.
All right.
It will still happen. He just has to locate them. That's the thing, is he's saying, hey, here's the hold up. We don't have someone that will sign this paperwork. Okay, so he's looking for someone of higher authority. It's still showing it coming forward as the opportunity, and it still shows you being happy. Okay? So, yes, it's still happening.
Okay.
Yeah.
That was basically where we were last time.
Yeah.
And that was kind of the warning you were giving, is there's going to be I believe was that there was going to be a little snafu here.
Right.
And that's the snafu. So yeah, then it looks like that rectifies and everything happens. Correct?
Correct.
Because I think I overtalked her last time as you were giving your answer. So I wanted to make sure.
Yes, it's still going on. It'll still happen. You're still in the process. All right. So let's dig into this article. And I went,
Yeah. So AARP did an article about the suicide rates of caregivers given or suicidal ideation of adult caregivers, elder caregivers. Basically in terms of the effects of COVID-19. What they don't have is comparative data. What they were looking for was to see where caregivers are right now in terms of COVID. And what they found is that 30% at least have had suicidal thoughts in the last 30 days when they responded to the survey.
Right.
That's a large number.
That's a huge number.
And a lot of that has to do with a lot of the supports that caregivers may have access to if they are so fortunate.
Right.
Because we do have to remember caregiving changes by class.
Right.
Like, let's go ahead and call it what it is. It's based on class. If you are very affluent when you become an elder, or you as the caregiver are in a situation in which you have wealth, you can pay for a lot more services. You potentially have a lot more opportunities for your caregiver to receive respite. What typically happens is as you come down that income ladder and that wealth ladder, a lot of that respite is unavailable due to finances, or only becomes available, like there's an unfortunate middle class in which you're too rich to receive Medicaid and the supports that would come with it, and you're too technically poor, or you're too income conscious, knowing that this funding isn't going to last forever.
Right.
The money you have isn't going to last forever. And you start kind of being on that fence of, do we spend it now or do we wait till later?
Right.
Speaking of that fence, I've been on it. That's where we were with my grandmother, is because we could look at her finances and know that, and do the quick math, that in a nursing home setting, her entire net worth, minus the house, would have been spent within 5 years. If you, in a nursing home situation, so it starts making that moment of, does she have another 5 years, and will those be in nursing care? Like, where is she at? Is there going to be another 10, another 20 years? Because if there is, and we start spending money now, we have a problem.
Right.
Because she's going to move through those years, that money will be consumed, and that's it.
Right.
That money will be gone and not eligible to care for her.
Right.
So you start having to balance that decision making between services and supports and the things you're going to pay for, and the things that, okay, where are we really at? What do I need versus what would I like versus the money?
Right. Well, see, and this is my view of it. And then my view of it. If you are affluent, then the caregiver you have is basically a house manager. You have a lawn service, you have, a bath nurse, you have a nurse that comes and does the things, 7 days a week. Maybe they're there 8 to 16 hours a day, very comfortably keeping you. But the direct family caregiver is basically just the employer. Then you go to the middle class. In the middle class, you have a non-paid caregiver, because, of course, affluently, you're going to pay that family member one way or another to be there.
Or even if you don't.
Yeah.
The role that they're taking on is more managerial.
Right.
Like, so to speak, using poor terminology, it's not wet work.
Right.
You're not bathing, you're not administering shots and medications, you're not figuring out how dinner's going to get on the table tonight while you're also doing X, Y, Z, and 14 other things.
Right.
You are literally writing checks, choosing good providers, ensuring they do their jobs properly, and scheduling and organizing and, managing, literal managerial position.
Right. And you may not even be required to live in the home with them. Middle class. What I call middle class middle class elderly. Okay? They have a little bit of retirement. They have a family member that will either move them in or move in with them. They may cook meals. They're going to do a little bit more hands-on work. They may have someone come in and do things or give a respite if they need them to for a day or so.
And that's on the upper side.
Right.
That's on the upper side of that middle class.
Right.
And then there's the lower side of that middle class.
Right.
Pardon?
Which is the one that supposedly has some of the best services available. Bullshit.
Oh, the upper middle class? Yeah.
The lower class.
Well, the lower middle class is kind of the catch-22.
Mm-hmm.
That's the ultimate catch-22. That's when you are just totally screwed.
Yeah.
You have too many assets to qualify for government programs, but you don't have the assets to spend on care.
Right.
Because care's not cheap.
No.
Care bills out at like $21 an hour and more.
Well,
like that's what you got to realize. Like these are minimum wage earners that will come to your home through a service, and they bill out for their services. Those same employees get billed out for like $21 an hour and higher.
Right.
So just even a few hours a month, in terms of one service we used with my grandmother, that worked out to $930 a month. We were paying for 1 8-hour day a week.
Mm-hmm. And your worker,
and that was what we found was the minimum you could offer out in what you needed to actually get someone there consistently. We originally tried to buffer this a little. So, you know what I really need is a half day.
Right.
Once a week, let me take a half day off. And that's what we started with, was 4 hours, 1 day a week. And what we got was a revolving door of employees. Because there were some things we didn't understand. First of all, these are minimum wage earners. Second of all, they are not paid for their travel in any which way, shape, or form. This was a service based well outside of where we lived.
Right.
So most of their employees were local to the business, not to us.
Right.
So, and there was toll involved. So by the time they paid for their gas, their tolls, drove the distance, and only got 4 hours at minimum wage, it was close to that line between I worked and made money and I paid to work here.
Right.
So quickly employees were going, I can't do that run.
Right.
I can't do it. Not if you're not going to pay me mileage. Not if you're not going to pay me, reimburse me tolls. Not if I have to, foot all of that off the clock, because you're not being paid for travel time either.
Right.
For 4 hours.
Right. And the other problem, but that's what you were able to do. And then there's another class that I call the lower class, and it's the ones that are the family members who gave up their life. They work, technically, if we look at caregiving as being their job, they work 7 days a week, 24 hours a day. And that's whether they get rest or not rest, if it's a good day or a not good day. Okay? But they're supposed to have government services to provide assistance of 4 hours here, or respite here, or respite there.
As well as income.
Yeah, as well as income.
Because you become a paid family caregiver.
Yeah. So the problem with all of it is when you have someone living with the person that's living at your job 7 days a week, all those supportive services are gone because it's COVID, so you don't want people coming in to your home.
Not with an elder who is in a high-risk group.
Exactly. Is bad. But on a when we're in normal times, caregivers need at least 2 8-hour shifts off a week for mental health alone.
because it is a lot.
Yeah.
It's a lot. And then you also have the current situations with going into stores and going out and the guilt of that.
Mm-hmm.
And I've been in that situation slightly differently. That sometimes, like, I just need to run to the store for 5 friggin' minutes.
Mm-hmm.
Like, I can't make dinner unless I go to the store.
Mm-hmm.
Like, I forgot a thing. I don't know how I forgot a thing. I forgot a thing. And what I ran into with my grandmother specifically is that she became a picky eater.
Mm-hmm.
Like, there were very limited foods she enjoyed, that she wanted, that she would eat. And so if we're out of anything that makes that happen, we're screwed.
Mm-hmm.
Like, she's not going to just eat something else.
Mm-hmm.
She's going to just not eat.
Right.
Or she's just not going to drink something else. These are minimum things she needs. So you end up with this guilt of, like, I'm trying to do the best thing.
Mm-hmm.
If I leave her alone for the 5, 10, 15 minutes it takes for me to go to the store, get the thing I need, get out and come home, and assuming that this all goes perfectly, there is no line at the store, I can quickly find a close parking space. I can run in and out. I don't run into a crowd. I don't have all these other things going on. The whole time, if you're any way decent as a caregiver, your heart is pounding in your ears because all the things that can go wrong in 5, 10, 15, 20 minutes. There's a line at the register. It's now a 20-minute trip out, or a 15 and you thought it was going to be 10, or 10 and you thought it was going to be 5. Like, and your stress level is just going through the roof. You are ready to, like, knock people out of the way. Because literally this is, in many cases, a fully functional adult on one level, yet at the same time a very, very vulnerable person who, in literally 1 minute or less, 30 seconds, can do a thing, whatever the thing is, that can cost them their life. You're scared for 30 unsupervised seconds, and you're making a 5, 10, 15, 20-minute trip out. Weighted against, but they won't eat. They won't have anything to drink. This is a prescription they need for their continued health. Like, this is a life or death prescription you're going out to get. These kinds of issues weigh heavily on caregivers all the time. Like, you're having to make some snap decisions as to what is the best choice here. Like, how do I navigate this? And a lot of caregivers are making those choices surrounded by people who think this is easy.
Right.
That, well, clearly, obviously, what you do is, and it's like, and I've seen people get into that argument with families. It's the most common caregiver trope ever. Of, why weren't you there? Why did you go out? Well, that was stupid. Mom got hurt and da-da-da-da-da. And it's like, you weren't there. You didn't have to make the choices I made.
Right. But at the same time on that, those family members that aren't there, because, sorry, done it 11 years with my dad, been there through chemo and everything else. Family members that keep circling and telling me what to do. And finally, I told them all, go the hell away. If you ain't here to help, if you ain't here to work, if you ain't here to run to the grocery store or do something else, then leave me the hell alone to deal with it.
Mm-hmm.
So at least I can deal with it. But now we've got caregivers that are already overworked, undersupported, and
Mm-hmm.
stressed to the max. And we're looking at them going, well, what's wrong? Everyone's staying home. Yeah, but what happens when it's the only mac and cheese that you can get your parent, sister, grandmother to eat is
Mm-hmm.
unavailable at the store?
Well, and that has also become a big issue for childhood caregivers, especially within the having kids that are autistic
Mm-hmm.
or that have autism, because sometimes there are very specific dietary requirements.
Yeah.
Like that's the only thing they eat.
Mm-hmm.
Like here's the short list.
Mm-hmm.
And it's the same situation. So again, there's a lot of caregivers that are struggling with just simple things.
Mm-hmm.
Like, my store's out of frozen pizza.
Mm-hmm.
My store's out of like Chef Boyardee spaghetti. My store's out of this.
Mm-hmm.
In addition to sometimes when we do get that person into a car and we make that daily drive out and we stop at the store, sometimes that's the only social interaction that caregiver may have that entire week.
Yeah.
Like that's the thread. That's the thread sometimes
Mm-hmm.
that is holding sanity together.
Mm-hmm.
Is being able to like go take grandma for, and this is literally me, I'm talking about me right now. Okay, Memo, you like going out for a drive, let's go out for a drive. Okay, you sit here in the car, I just have to run in the store for a minute. I can always find one more thing I need at the store: milk, bread, sugar, something like $2 worth of anything that we commonly use, because I just need 5 minutes and a conversation that makes logical sense.
Right.
And I've done it. Like, she gets her drive, she goes and people watches, she is nice and calm and relaxed because this makes her happy.
Mm-hmm.
And she gets to sit in front of the store and watch everyone going in and out. Thankfully, I was in a situation where she did not try to put the car in gear. She did not try to get out of the car, and she did not try to drive the car.
Mm-hmm.
Not everyone's so lucky,
Mm-hmm.
but if you are, it can be a world of difference. But that you get that like 2 minutes,
Mm-hmm.
5 minutes, whatever, in that store to just like take a breath.
Mm-hmm.
Because sometimes that's like the biggest thing.
Right.
And when suddenly you're having to reevaluate every trip to a store as a potential life and death situation for the elder you're caring for,
Mm-hmm.
oh, I would have lost my mind.
Yeah.
I would have lost my mind to not just eat. And sometimes it's just the comfort of knowing I can go do that. Like if it gets really bad today, okay, Grandma, we're getting in the car. We're going for a ride. You know, because I need 5 minutes somewhere in this trip to just take a deep breath.
Mm-hmm.
Yes.
Yes, in my situation, I had Dad fully. They didn't sew him up, so he was fully open here. It was the hardest thing. Luckily, there was a lovely Miss Fanny, and if Josh ever watches this, your grandmother was a saint. Miss Fanny next door ran to the store for me. If I needed cigarettes, she got them. If I needed groceries, she got them. Because I walked in February 14th to this house, and I didn't leave to do anything except go to a doctor's office via ambulance till February 18th. November. Walked in February 14th, didn't leave at all till November 18th. 24 hours a day, 7 days a week, caring for someone as they're healing up.
Mm-hmm.
And what got me was I had family members driving past the house because, there's an interstate behind that wall, guys.
Yes.
Not even stop, not even call.
Mm-hmm.
Mm-hmm.
Well, and then you also talked about one of the hidden things
Mm-hmm.
that happens. You've mentioned it before. Domino's, I believe it
Domino's, yeah.
was absolutely amazing. They literally got to a point they called you before the shop closed if you hadn't already called them.
Right. They got used
See
to
what if you were ordering dinner or if dinner was covered, and what they also would run and pick stuff up for you.
They would bring me what they could
Right.
if they couldn't. Because always sometimes we ordered Domino's because that's what I can get a man on chemo to eat was Domino's pizza.
Yep.
By golly, he ate it every day. But Greg used to call the store around 6 o'clock. You've not ordered today. And half the time I'm like, Greg, what day is it? Because you guys haven't learned in this process of staying home, you lose days. You lose times.
It's Blur's Day.
Yeah.
In the month of Blur.
Mm-hmm.
Of the year of Blur.
Blur. Your 24-hour day becomes a 36-hour day. For me, if it was a treatment day, that day started at 2 a.m. and it may not end till 2 a.m. 3 days later.
Okay, so we do have some comments. Kathy, Kathy did, I think, pop back with her. No, that was a separate thing. Yeah, she was commenting on the services and that she was supposed to have a PCA.
Yeah. Patient care assistant.
Okay, patient care assistant and someone to help with her meds plus occupational therapy. No show for 11 months now.
Yeah.
And she was qualified for those through disability. They always cancel. Yeah, we've been there. Been there. And she says she has fainted many times and bruises so bad from falling. And it looks like she's been beaten up. And literally is just holding on to walls and trying to fall with her back against the wall.
Right.
Oh, gosh.
But, and that's where you need to call the ombudsman. Every state has an ombudsman that oversees home health care, PCS, PCLA, visiting angels, whatever. Call them and you'll see some movement.
Right. And a lot of it is that there is a lot of demand for these services. And I know in Mercer County, what I got told was because I called in our Mercer County Commission on Aging with my grandmother. And this very sweet woman came out. I will give her credit. She is perfect for her job. And she looked at me with so much pain and said, honey, here's your problem. And she started explaining the catch-22 middle class situation. You're right there. Your grandmother has too many assets to qualify for Medicaid. Most of our services require Medicaid eligibility at least. The services that we do offer that don't require Medicaid eligibility for have a wait list. And I said, okay, well, how long's the wait list? And she's like, currently there's 1,000. I get funding for 1,000 people each year. There are potentially 6,500 that are in need of services. And right now, our eligibility wait list or our service wait list is about 100 and some names long. Some have been on there for 2 years or more. And that's when I looked at her, and I feel bad now for what I said to her. Was basically, I'm waiting for someone's grandma to die. Actually, a lot of them. so that my grandmother can get some services.
Right. And see, this is where the census is so important.
Mm-hmm.
Mercer County, if there's a low census response, then they think that they only need enough to cover 1,000 people.
Mm-hmm.
So that's all they give that poor woman is enough to cover 1,000 people.
Mm-hmm. And like the hurt in her eyes, though, when I said that, but it's the cold reality, is that 100-person wait list is, I'm hoping my grandmother at 90 some years old would still be alive in a couple of years, and that a bunch of other grandmas died off real quick to bump her up that list.
Yeah. Jennifer, yes, we are live. Yeah, we're live. We're replying back to comments as we go through. Brenda, I want to direct you to something. If your friend is not in the Nexus, add her to the Nexus and please ask her to post that, because we'll help locate that food.
Mm-hmm.
All right.
Absolutely. So Jennifer Nicole found you through Crystal Lotus, and she had some comments earlier, and then she's also asked a question down there, not a one like that. Oh wow. So she's new to tarot. And has been studying astrology for a few years now.
Cool. Very cool, Jennifer.
Awesome. So what are our big three? Yeah, that's what Jennifer asks, is I'm a newbie. What are your guys' big three?
Big three steps to helping caregivers: make a phone call, see if they need something. Big three to tarot, astrology, that type of thing. My big three is tarot, astrology, and then I'm really falling in love right now reading over Nostradamus's records. That's my big top three.
Okay, and then on my side of that, I'm an IT guy by trade. I have a massive thing. Oh, big three. She's talking signs. But I'll finish my thing. Is I have a really big issue with the healthcare system, especially in Mercer County, and what it does to those who are in need of services, and the way that we treat people that are needing services and run them through systems and processes tied back to the IT that are not human friendly.
Yep.
And then my third one is I love to cook.
Yeah. All right. So big three astrology sign wise. I am a double Aries Virgo. He is a Cancer, Taurus, Capricorn.
Okay.
Took me a minute there because I have to remember, because I've got multiple charts that run through my head.
Okay. Oh, but yes. No. But yeah. Brenda was saying that reminded her so much of her mother, I believe. And yeah, it's a massive thing when someone's in another state. That makes it really, really hard. And I'm so glad that, or no, okay, sorry. That was the autism comment, looking for food.
Right.
Okay. So actually they did get his favorite foods to him.
Cool.
So there are some wonderful companies out there. That is awesome.
Right.
That is absolutely awesome. But yes, guys, let us know. We'll do what we can. We have started Mountaineer Pagan Nexus for those of you in West Virginia. And I'm sure that even if you're just a little outside of West Virginia, we have lots of wonderful people.
If you can be in West Virginia in an hour, you belong in the Nexus.
And more importantly, packages can be mailed.
Exactly. Especially when it comes
to, if we got to redistribute some stuff, we'll redistribute some stuff.
Exactly.
Especially if there's a plentiful bounty in our area.
Yeah. By the way, if you are a member of Pagan Nexus, we will be live in Pagan Nexus at 7 o'clock on Sunday. having a discussion about what's going on, where things are going, all that. And you know what I hope for the group, that type of thing. But I just want to make it clear, yes, I started the group. That doesn't mean I'm adminning it, but we're not overseeing or forming any crazy stuff. So, but no, that's a whole example of what the Nexus is about. Which I'm glad that you guys are enjoying it.
Yeah. And the quickest way to sum up Mountaineer Pagan Nexus is it's a forum.
Yeah.
It's about people and what's going on in the area and in our state specifically, and how we can help each other.
Right.
It's not a great big giant like hierarchical group. It is literally just about how we can connect.
Right. So Jennifer, if you will message me on Facebook, I will send you, if you're not in the link, I will gladly put it out there. Yes, people helping people, and I'm going to sound a little snooty about this, but pagans helping pagans, because we ain't getting any help anywhere else.
And if you need more information on that, you can also check out the Central West Virginia Pagan Pride video.
Yep.
And the talk by Byron. Oh, what's her last name?
Byron Ballard.
Thank you.
Yep.
A lot of the stuff that she was talking about during Central West Virginia Pagan Pride really resonated with us, and the need for Mountaineer Pagan Network was clear and obvious while she was talking.
Right.
And that's our effort to help. And yes, hi Mika.
Hi Mika, honey. Thank you for being a supporter. Vanna, take it over.
Okay. So she has a question. MG/Mika. 22082. With me having social anxiety, what things can I do to help others or do charity work?
Well, honey, you can actually do a lot that doesn't require you to be social.
And then she also asks, and should I delete Facebook or just unfriend Callie and his family?
All right. So things that you can do that doesn't require to set off on a social thing and being fearful socially. You can write letters to people. You can make phone calls to people. You can pick up a case of macaroni and cheese at the store and give it. You can clean out your closet and donate the clothes that you don't want. There are tons of things that you don't have to do in large groups. Okay? Just because you have anxiety doesn't mean that it's in all fields of social anxiety. Now on to the second question there. More, should you delete Facebook? No, don't delete Facebook. Just unfriend the people that do not belong in your circle. If they will not sit at your dining room table, they don't need to be on your Facebook.
And the best part about unfriending people is they never know.
Right.
Until they go looking to find you because they need something.
Right.
And usually that's part of the problem. Just my experience, every time anyone has ever messaged me and been like, why did you unfriend me? It has always come down to because you're constantly asking me for stuff.
Or criticizing me or creating problems in my life.
Yep. Sorry, don't have room for you.
Should be your dining room table. You do not, and I'm going to put this out there because it gets me upset all the time. When you look at somebody's Facebook and they've got 2 zillion friends, I'm thinking, God, that is a lot of a dining room table. Okay, so don't ever feel obligated to keep anyone on your Facebook.
Right. And sounds like Jennifer would fit right in around ours. She said she always feels weird and different. And I'm like, weird and different is our stock in trade.
Exactly.
So, yes.
All right.
Thank you, Kathy. So let me Vanna it away. So we would like to thank our Patreon supporters. Beverly Walker, Mika G, MG, of course, and the Crystal Lotus Shop located at 89 Old Main Plaza in St. Albans, West Virginia. Be sure to check them out if you're in the area. And of course, you can find out more about us, the show, and becoming a Patreon supporter and all the benefits that includes by checking out PCSPnetwork.com.
Yes, and Patreons, be looking for your magazine. That'll be out around the 1st. We're going to shoot for the 1st. It may be the 2nd, but it'll be out. And things we're talking about this time is managing your money, where to put it in, what money you should put into tech. And then, of course, you're going to get the Terroscope and the show details of what's coming up. And some author spotlights and other things we're going to be doing there is we're now going to start putting this video directly into you guys to Patreon. So if you don't catch it, you can. And also other special content coming from us as we produce it. You guys get it earlier.
Mika's so happy.
I hope she likes the wallpaper. I really liked how you done that this year.
Loves it. Good deal. Good deal. And it is one of my favorite quotes from, well, I think it's kind of both our favorite quote. It may not be your most favorite quote from Brene Brown.
Now, my favorite quote from Brene Brown is, Steve!
No, it's damn it, Steve.
Yes, damn it, Joe.
But yeah, it's my favorite Brene Brown quote that is her own. The man in the arena quote is great, but that's not directly hers. That's a whole long story.
Right.
So, yes. And good night, Beverly. Thank you for joining us. I know we're a little late.
We ran late, but we're going to run late. So, guys, this is what's going on. If you're part of the Nexus, we will see you on Sunday evening to talk about the Nexus. We've already got questions in there. If you're not, then we will see you on Tuesday. And on Tuesday, we will be talking about a lot of different things. Hot topics. This is Coffee Chat Tuesday. So who knows what we'll be talking about, because you guys will be leading that content. Until then, have a great night. Great weekend. Stay safe. Wash your hands. Wear a mask. And stay away from humans.
Yes.
Night, y'all.
This message. Good night.